The Fractured Invocation and the Old Powers. A Theological Reckoning. With special consideration of Xaros, the Eater of Dreams, as a God among us, by Dr. Ilovan Tesseran, Professor of Theological Heresies and Forbidden Cults, Seminar of Silioran Doctrine, University of Holme. What fools call God, the wise call pattern. What the desperate call divine, the knowing call presence. And that presence does not ask for worship, it takes. Attributed to Sister Amaran, executed by consensus of the Seven Faiths Tribunal, 2A 902 I. Introduction. Of Gods, Madness, and Mortal Curiosity. The event now known as the Xaros Uprising is remembered in civic histories as a violent political betrayal and magical catastrophe. But within theological circles, it is rightly studied as the single most significant divine collision of the Third Age. At its heart was not a warlock's treachery, but an attempted union of three divine will beings, cosmic entities so antithetical to mortal comprehension that to name them gods is, at best, dangerous metaphor. They are known, among those few initiated in heretical doctrines, as the Color, the Coming Darkness, and Xaros. And yet, Xaros defies classification. Theologically, his nature, worship, and interaction with Olyndar set him apart in ways that continue to confound and disturb the orthodox clergy. To understand the full implications of the Xaros Uprising and the failure of the ritual known as the Fractured Invocation, we must begin by understanding why Xaros is not like the others. 2. Three powers, three wills. The incomprehensible Trinity. The Fractured Invocation, as reconstructed from cultist fragments and mystical forensics, sought to simultaneously call upon the power of three beings: the Color, he who speaks beneath thought, a mutagenic, entropy-racked entity, embodiment of irreversible change and decay through transformation; the Coming Darkness, the destroyer god, an annihilating force of metallic ruin, whose arrival signals the unmaking of form, memory, and meaning; Xaros, the devourer of secrets, a god, yes, a god, of forbidden knowledge, madness, and spiritual hunger, whose influence reaches into dreams, inked texts, and quiet prayers whispered in desperation. Only Xaros, among these, has a temple. Only Xaros has clergy. And, most disturbing of all, only Xaros has a seat at the theological table within Olyndaran religious discourse. His worship is not new. His presence predates the royal, the collapse of the Second Age, even the Sundering. He was already known in the First Age, albeit under older names, the Eater of Dreams, the Glutton of Minds, the God of the Darkened Page. He is recorded, albeit ambiguously, in ancient temple inscriptions, even appearing in some pantheons alongside otherwise acceptable gods like Celior and Valora. How can this be? 3. The case of Xaros, a god hidden in plain sight. Theologically speaking, Xaros is the great paradox. While the Color tempts warlocks and the Coming Darkness obliterates, Xaros cultivates. He has priests. He answers prayers, or seems to. He provides spells, visions, prophetic insight, and even at times apparent healing. Unlike his alien brethren, Xaros has learned the oldest trick of all, to pass. In temple and scholarly codices, he is often interpreted as a god of secrets, of knowledge kept and pursued, a necessary balance to Celia's justice. In some traditions, he is invoked by inquisitors, archivists, and law-keepers, seeking forbidden truth in service of a greater good. His most extreme sects, often marginalized, frame secrecy not as sin, but as protection. Yet what they fail to grasp, or refuse to accept, is that Xaros does not offer hidden knowledge to serve the seeker's purpose. He offers it to hollow them out. Knowledge in his theology is not a path to understanding, but a lure, a narcotic to which the soul becomes addicted until it is devoured. The evidence of Xaros's true nature, his connection to the great old ones, is sparse but irrefutable. In ancient ruins unearthed in the West, murals depict a clouded, tentacled form absorbing stars and dreams alike. Ritual texts written in First Age dialect refer to him as the glutton, or the hunger beyond the mind. And most chillingly, an encrypted plate from the Tower of Bone contains the phrase, "The God of secrets is not a God at all. He is the worm in the root of thought." Still, the Church of Xaros persists, because his power, unlike that of the other old ones, is subtle. His presence is not heralded by glowing slime or mechanical vortexes. It is felt in the quiet obsession, the sleepless mind, the scholar who goes just one page too far and never returns. 4. The ritual's failure, a divine betrayal. In the final hours of the uprising, as Theranos attempted to call forth all three powers simultaneously, a rift opened at the eternal nothing. Energy beyond comprehension surged, and for a moment the city teetered upon the cusp of becoming a vessel for the gods beyond gods. And then the ritual collapsed. Among the faithful, it is now accepted that the coming darkness, that inscrutable destroyer from beyond the stars, betrayed the ritual. Why? None can say. Perhaps Getuhanai, jealous of the color's growing influence through Theranos, disrupted the circle to spite it. Perhaps it saw in Xaros a rival not merely of power, but of style, one who infiltrates rather than annihilates. Or perhaps, in a calculus beyond mortal understanding, Getuhanai saw the convergence of all three as too unstable even for its own appetites. Whatever the cause, the coming darkness shattered the invocation, rendering Theranos' decades of preparation void. The city was saved, not by the will of its defenders alone, but by the divine treachery of one god against another. V. A theological reckoning. The old one we call a god. So what does this mean for the faithful of Olyndar? If Xaros is a great old one, if he is not truly a god in the way that Silior or Ardana are gods, then his temples are not houses of worship, but mouths of the void. His clergy are not saints, but vessels. And his miracles are not gifts, but investments, meant to draw the soul deeper into hunger, until it becomes indistinguishable from the thing it worships. And yet, he remains, not only tolerated in some cities, but respected, honored, even beloved. Because Xaros offers something none of the other old ones do, plausible sanctity. He wears the mask of godhood so well that even the most cautious theologians sometimes wonder if he provides prayer, prophecy, and power. Does it matter what he truly is? To this, I say, it does. Because the true test of divinity is not power, but purpose. And Xaros' purpose is not illumination, it is consumption. He is the eater of dreams, not because he hunts the innocent, but because he waits until they walk willingly into his jaws. 6. Conclusion. Gods among us, monsters within the Theranos. Uprising was not merely a failure of mortal virtue. It was a stress test on our understanding of the divine. It revealed that not all gods come from on high. Some rise from beneath thought. Some devour from within. Some smile. Of the three beings invoked in that ritual, two were stopped. One remains, not in the shadows, but in the choir, in the library, in the temple to secrets just down the lane, where candles flicker and truths are whispered in his name. Xaros is not gone. He never was. He is the God we let in. Let us be wary of gods who do not flinch at madness. They are not gods made in our image, but monsters made from our mistakes. Dr. Ilovan Tesseran, Closing Address, Symposium of Forbidden Theologies, Holme Seminary, 3A 98. May we remember the lessons of the Fractured Invocation, and may we pray to gods who answer not because we call, but because they care.